everyone. Welcome back again to Spiritual Growth Tarot and Astrology. I'm Denise, and this will be your astrology or astrological reading for the week of June. We're going to go from Sunday, June 19th. Happy Father's Day. That's right, it's Father's Day. Goodness, I'm so glad I just remembered that. And then we're going to go through Saturday the 25th. And so during the week, we're going to have two major things. Besides, we're out of the Mercury retro shade. And so things should, all communication devices and communication itself should go much more smoothly if you've been having any trouble. But anyway, so besides the let's see, what is it on Tuesday? I know there's something. Oh yeah, the summer solstice, first day of summer. We have that, so I have that special chart for you. And then also our Ingress chart going from Venus into Gemini. So Venus is leaving Taurus into Gemini. So that should be good, really good for all communication. So anyway, let me stop blabbing this way, bring the camera over here, show you the charts, and get this going. Okay, hold on. Okay, so first off, I just want to address that I'm using a 0 degrees Aries chart so that you see the natural house setup, and if you just apply it to your time zone, so, for instance, it's 6 a.m. Pacific time here for Sunday's chart, but if you're in Mountain Time, it'll be 7. If you're in Central Time, it'll be 8 a.m. And then, of course, in Eastern Time, you can be at 9 a.m. Or Atlantic Time, you can be at 10 a.m. So, or adjust to, your part of the world. But these planetary transits will be, worldwide. It's just that they're happening at different times, depending on your time zones. And the other thing is, I have an owie, so there's a weird Band-Aid there. If you're wondering, why is her finger yellow in that one spot? So, okay, but the thing that's first of all, I want to draw attention to, or it's drawing attention to me, is the Sun in this inconjunct to Pluto. So remember, I know I've said this many times, an inconjunct is an adjustment. And what's the adjustment coming from? With the Sun at a late degree Gemini, it's information and power. So of course we're seeing that, the power structures having trouble, right? We have the hearings going on. We have the January 6th hearings going on, and lots of information has been coming out. This aspect was there all last week. It's over, I think, by Tuesday of this week, if I remember correctly. So, more will continue to come out. And then, Gemini, it's all about gathering information and then sharing information, articulating information, questioning things, learning new things, of course. Some people are going to be in a whole lot of duality about it, because Gemini can be about, dualistic thinking and being two-faced, like the way Bill Barr is, now he's the good guy, or he thinks he is, or whatever. But, why didn't he share the information he had, let's say, a year ago, at the least? Or how about when it was happening? But no, he didn't do that. He just kept it until he's ready to release a book. So this is this adjustment that when we're seeing the dualistic flip-flopping around of, and he might even be a Gemini, I'm not sure. But that's just one example. So, but for us personally, in our personal lives, this aspect is all about, like I said, learning, questioning, looking at things from all different angles is the key here. And then you will be much more empowered yourself to be in your own integrity and to manifest the life that you want to live. And it might be that, you catch people in lies, and you're having to adjust yourself like, oh, okay, well, now I know I can't trust this person in that area. Doesn't mean that they're dishonest in all areas of their lives. It's just in some certain places, and then they don't want to admit, what they've said or done because for fear of, rejection and things like that. It's just the human predicament, right? So anyway, that might be one of the things that's still, for most of us, we're observing this through the hearings. But if you have any of those issues in your life, just know that, you're gathering information, and later on you might need that information for some reason or another. Now, sometimes when, with the sun, especially in a later degree, Gemini, and in this aspect with Pluto representing power, transformation, clearing, getting to the truth, things bubbling up from within, in the unconscious realm. Like I said, just question things from all different angles within. And if you're feeling like you're not being heard or understood, and that's been happening for a long time, and you're having this like power issue dynamic type of controlling thing with someone who's either not listening or doesn't want to listen, and they're just, acting like they can't hear you, or you just don't get that they're understanding at all, even though you've said it over and over and over again. That's a real issue here. And so those things might come up. And then from there, with Pluto and Capricorn, you're going to have a hard time committing to a person like that. And it can definitely bring up challenging, relationship dynamics. So that's, that's something there. Now, let's go to the moon in Pisces. So I'm going from the sun here to the moon. The only aspect you can see there, it's a square, and it's good enough, right? But it ties into this other, I should have like a little ruler in here, shouldn't I? I'll make these, see if I can make these lines straight. It's like fat chance with me, right? So here we go, the moon in Pisces, and in this square aspect. So remember, squares are challenges, but they turn into strengths. And it's the moon square Mercury, and again, Mercury's the messenger, and in Pisces it's about gathering facts. Again, this is beautiful for the January 6th committee. And I don't know what hearings might be this week. There's one going on right now as I'm reading this. I really had to pull myself away to get to this. So anyway, quickly, so the moon is sensitive all on its own. In Pisces, it's really, really sensitive. Now, it's also about the moods and feelings and how we want to protect and take care of ourselves. And in Pisces, this is going to be a day for being very sensitive and empathic and mystic even. It can be really great for art, as long as you can, like I said, pull yourself away. Like, this is me literally, I just want to sit and watch the hearing, but I have this commitment, right? I have a commitment to you guys to have these videos up at a certain time. So I had to pull myself away from that information that I wanted to gather, but it's okay. My DVR is recording it. It's no big deal. But I'm just giving you an example of like what I really wanted to do, but then what I realized, I need my discipline here in Capricorn, my self-discipline to do what I committed to do. So it could be like that it could be that kind of challenge that you just have to go through, and then it's okay, you just deal with it. So it's a day for gathering information. Early in the morning, you're going to feel like you don't really want to work, or you don't really want to do. You just want to be, in Pisces, you kind of just want to float around on the sea of consciousness and just letting go. But that might not be the healthy thing to do. Now, in other areas, Pisces can be about immigration. This could be some challenging information that comes out about immigration and immigration reform, DACA. things like that. Because remember, the moon is about, in mundane astrology anyway, this could be, the people, the masses, and with the Saturn square, we do have that challenge. But we're talking about it with Mercury in Gemini, and we're gathering more information about it. And again, the moon's going to move, this way. You'll see by it's going to bump up against Neptune. We're going to get all the way up in here before the end of the week. Like I said, we'll get to Taurus. So, but anyway, let's go with, now that we've got the sun, we've already tied in Mercury and the moon. Let's see what else Mercury doesn't, we're not having any other aspects. I think I'm going to forego these little sesquisquares and the sesquisquares and the squares, because it's taken too long to do these videos, and I don't know that you guys care about all these aspects that are just really, really minor. So, what is drawing my eye that is the most important for today? Well, of course, this is the weekly overview in the morning here. How about, let's go with Venus, because we have the sun, the moon, Mercury. Mars or Venus would be good to go to, but I feel like going with Venus first. Even though, that would be the right order. But so Venus here is still in that nice trine to Pluto. Now this could bring in the opening and the nice opening, and this whole thing here, I'm just going to bring it together because we have a conjunction here. All right, this is less than 10 degrees here from Uranus to Venus. So this could be some surprising new, feelings that lead you on your path to your own personal power with that trine to Pluto up there. So, and that's especially true if I bring in this sextile from Pluto to Neptune, because here's your spiritual power. And then Neptune is in the sextile back here to Venus. See how that all ties together? Isn't that great? So Neptune can be, like the big spiritual source, and Venus is the like that source of spiritual energy, but in your body and in your personal life. So we've got the microcosm and the macrocosm here. We've got the big, Neptune is, I love Neptune. Neptune has everything to do with our spirituality and how we connect with each other, how we know that we're all interconnected, and how with, especially in Pisces, it's like doubly there. And we know that power of our interconnection with each other. And then to have two sextiles and it's trine down here to Venus, Pluto, the slower moving planet, is the most powerful one, but Venus is going to keep moving quickly. This sextile here is very powerful. So let's focus in on this for a moment. So remember, Pluto's power, it's our karma, it's intense, it's our passion, and it's the planet of transformation. And it takes, like 243 to 248, some, at least that's what they're saying, over all the years in this like 6,000 year ephemeris that I've looked at. But things can change because it has an elliptical orbit, and that could definitely change. So, but anyway, that's another whole thing about the way it transits. And the important part to remember is like wherever it is located in your natal chart, whatever house it's in and the aspects to it, it's only going to move through certain houses through one lifetime. Like you'll be lucky because it takes 243 at least, or at the minimum, years to get around the chart. Well, we'd have to live to be about 125 or 100, but it can be done. It depends on the signs and everything. We could end up having a transit of Pluto opposite Pluto at some point in our lives, at the end of our lives, or late in life. But we're all going to go through, like Pluto square, Pluto, things like that. Pluto conjunct, let's say you had Pluto at a certain, certain space, and then in your natal chart, when you incarnated, and then by the time you're 30 or so, let's say it conjuncted Saturn, then you'd have the transit of Pluto conjunct Saturn, or Pluto on your moon, or Pluto on, any of your other personal planets. So right now, the little ones coming in that are born, they have Pluto at late degree Capricorn, and it's retrograde, so there's a review, of their power issues in their lives, and then they would have the trine to all these planets, and the North Node in Taurus. It would be a phenomenal lifetime for them, which all lifetimes are, I think. So anyway, back to, this transit here is very, very powerful for finding your spiritual essence and the power of your spiritual essence and the power of your compassion and your empathy and knowing that we're all one and we're all connected, and to let go of things that don't matter. It can, because Neptune can be all about disillusion. So when you go through times in your life where you're disillusioned with, you're just like, you find out what matters. You really find out what matters to you when you go through those times in your life where you're trying to find your own inner strength, right, with Pluto. And then we've got, this other sextile over here to Venus with Neptune there, which will bring in those opportunities to get in touch with your value system, with the North Node, Uranus, and Venus all together here. And Mars will get in here too by, August 1st, July 31st, actually. And Venus will be over here. But the deal is, we are all, with this transit, we are all figuring out what matters to us most. And, if we have a little bit of a recession we have to go through a year or so, we might have 11 months or so of recession they're talking about. We're going to find out even more what matters most, right? And what matters most is our love. What matters most is our love, is the power of our love. It's the way we feel. It's, I guess some people could be just totally in love with their really expensive whatevers that they have, but, and with luxury, especially with Taurus, we are in that realm of pleasure and luxury, and that's okay. There's no judgment around any of that, but pure positive pleasure is experienced in your body. It's experienced, of course, you can have pleasure in your body because of the comfort you have in your life. If I didn't have a comfortable pillow and really soft sheets, I would not be happy, right? And that's all about Taurus, because Taurus is, tactile and sensual. And we want to be secure with Taurus because it's all about self-preservation. And it has to do also with our deep inner principles. And with this trine up here to Pluto, and you can see that Neptune's at 25 degrees, Pluto's at 28. As Venus moves forward, it's going to come into an exact, aspect, but it's been within orb for this last week. Even so, and it's intensifying, and it's good. Now the nodes have moved just a little. They always go backwards anyway, and they're retrograde now. But it doesn't mean a thing. Retrograde nodes don't mean a thing. So, with Uranus here, Uranus is going to help us wake up and understand what we really want. Understand that we are each very unique individual beings, and it's going to help us detach from things that don't work in our lives anymore, and it can help us create some big change in our lives if we want to, and it'll lead us more towards our freedom. Now, I'm a firm believer that the keys to our freedom lies in our self-responsibility. And when I say self-responsibility, I mean that we take self-responsibility for the fact that we are pretty much creating everything in our lives. Not 100% of it, of course, because life on planet Earth is just not perfect and never will be, until it's raised to some vibration that it's 100% compatible with the highest spiritual realms. But who knows how many eons that could take, right? So basically, waking up to what really matters to you most, and of course it's going to be pleasure in your body, pleasure in your life, positive pleasure that really matters to you. It's probably not going to be things like looking a certain way, being a certain way to appease others. It'll push us away from appearance values and bring us into those deeper, something tangible that you can really, really hold on to, because it's your own bodily experience in your own life, and it's very unique from everyone else. So, and then of course with these oppositions to the South Node, your past life gifts can come through. I keep speaking to that. And then of course, we still have, and we will have until November 16th, we're going to have this Saturn squaring both the North Node and the South Node. And like I've done before, to remind you, it's a T-square. So Saturn's up there at the apex, right? See how we've got 25, 21. Yeah, so it'll shift. It'll shift in November, like right before Thanksgiving, but for now, what we're looking at is needing to fight for laws that protect us in the future. And so politically, that's what it's about. New laws for humanity, so that we don't go back to the past where people in power think that they can just take over and stay in power forever. Right? So that we have a diplomatic and fair, free electoral system. And the sun that's trining Saturn is supporting that, at least for this day. So I'm hoping what comes out in the hearings today, and the January 6 hearings today, it looks to me like it could be very, very enlightening. And, because Saturn teaches. So it's going to teach us about freedom and liberation and who was trying to hold on to those keys of power. Now, also, it's important to notice the Saturn square here. Oops, wrong color. Oops, and sorry for that loud popping noises. I'm so sorry. Okay, I have to remember to move the pens away before I do that. Okay, so we've got a square between the Sun and Neptune. And what that's going to bring in, for us, it can be a very challenging day where, like I was saying, we have work to do, and we need to take care of our work, but we might be kind of torn in two because we just want to watch the hearing or we just want to do something else. It might be one of those, and if this is one of those days you can totally take off, enjoy it, because that would be, strengthening for you and going with the flow. But, you do what you got to do, right? And then you keep dancing. Sorry, that just flipped into my head from I don't know how many years ago. Way back in the day when I used to teach aerobics. Do what you gotta do. Why don't you keep dancing? I can't remember who did the song. But anyway, back to the political sphere. Well, the ones who've been trying to delude us, and especially Mr. Flump, who thinks that he's the victim and we're on a witch hunt and, everyone's against him. This is not going to work out well for him because information's coming out to counter, So new information in order to bring about the facts. especially in a late degree. Gathering facts, late degree Gemini. Okay, so let's move to Monday. And you can see we have all the same aspects I just spoke to. You know, everything's going on the same here. Saturn is still squaring, right? What's different about today is we still have the Sun squaring Neptune. Okay, so that's still the gathering the facts. But what's new, you can see, is that we have the Moon right here conjunct Neptune. And it's trining the South Node, reflecting back into the past and who these angry people were that stormed the Capitol. And now we might start feeling much, much more compassion for the committee members, who were there and, went through it, right? By Monday, at some point and on, I think we might, it's possible, by looking at these aspects, I'm thinking that I'm thinking we're going to have a greater understanding of what they went through, what the committee members went through, all the reps and the senator, the House and Senate, everybody that was there when Mike Pence, counted and gave his certification of all the Electoral College votes. How scary it was for them, right? Now, on another level, Neptune rules film, video, all types of media, and with the Moon in Pisces, there'll be more power to it. So, and remember Fox News didn't air the first one. The second one they did, but there was just still some weird stuff going on there. I don't know if they'll get away with not airing anything on this third one or whatever they're doing today. I honestly don't know. But the transits here support the power of the people coming through and seeing everything that happened in the past, right? Because it's trining the South Node. Now, the Moon and Neptune, because it's been... So see this sextile here to the North Node? The Moon is an exact sextile to the North Node here, which is about the future. But because this is an entire stellium going on in Taurus here, it's bringing in all three of these points, okay? So this is really, I should draw a thick, thick line here because this is really important. And this together, right here, when you have a trine to one point, when you have a trine bringing 2 points together and then a sextile at the other end, this is called the aspect of the architect. And it opens doors. It's like the lever law that opens doors. It's like, oh, now we have, and of course with Saturn here trining the Sun, it's like, oh, now some government authorities have gathered the facts, right? So Saturn government, Gemini facts, gathering information. And now it's all coming together in a cohesive way, and there's something after Monday, and this might be that more people have seen all the at least these 3 hearings. Maybe there's another one that comes through on Monday. That I do not know. I know nothing about their schedule, and it could change, like it, of course it did already. So, yeah. And then again, let's trine here with Pluto, to giving power, right? This connection between the power of the past, but we're moving towards safety and freedom. This is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Now let's focus in on the last things I want to focus in on this chart. I have to do with Mars here, and I'm going to, well, I can't actually, because inconjuncts are only like 0 to 3 degrees, and that's already beyond 3 there because we're at 19 minutes, 19 degrees 31 minutes. But this inconjunct here, Mars in this inconjunct to the past, to the South Node of the past, this is going to move us forward, and this can move you forward in your own life. And that's especially true because Mars moving on the other side of Chiron has helped us to heal something deep within, has helped to free us up, has pushed some energy out from any woundedness around feeling like you're left out or abandoned. Whatever deep, deep issues, if anybody's ever gone through. I mean, we're all human. We all have the same. Nobody wants to be rejected or abandoned or left out. But maybe after this transit, you don't care so much about coming first, being first, winning. Maybe you're more into asserting yourself in a really healthy way, because you're connected into your past life wisdom, and you know who you are. So there's no need to be defensive about any of that. So there's that with Mars in Aries. Just be careful about being impulsive with Mars in Aries. That's the only warning I'm going to have there. Go slow. I don't want anybody getting into accidents, because Mars in Aries can be a little accident prone if you're moving too quickly. Which I'd like to say that's how I cut my finger here, but I was gently reaching under my faucet. You have those faucets that come off of, comes off, it has a sprayer. It's a sprayer faucet thing. It had underneath, where the spray thing goes into the bottom of it, where it hooks back together. It had frayed enough to where some of that really heavy plastic coating had pushed it just gotten worn off enough to where it left a sharp thing. And man, it's I barely touched it, and it's it was just running up against a knife under there. So, and yeah, but that's the Mars and Aries kind of. It's be careful, because little things can happen. Just make sure you have Band-Aids and other first aid. You'll be okay. So yeah, let's see what else. Okay, so Pluto in conjunct the Sun. Again, still, we have that power of making an adjustment, because again, more information. So I really hope that this is all about the J6 committee having another hearing. If not, it's another, I would say, big news dump, and then we're all adjusting, going, whoa, But then again, to get to the truth and get to the bottom of things, I think we're gonna just be celebrating. Okay, so now here we are, Tuesday, first day of summer, and you can see that the Sun is now at 0 degrees Cancer. It's still in that inconjunct to Pluto. So we're still making adjustments we're learning and then bringing back that learning and information, and we're gathering, now that it's into Cancer, we've gone through that learning, gathering information, and now it's okay, now we're going to plant some seeds with all that truth. Now we know which way we want to go, and we're feeling more energized. Cancer has everything to do with your home, has everything to do with your roots, your parents, your emotional security, protecting yourself. It's all about the past. If there's problems with Cancer, it's usually in the areas of you have to be careful with overeating, because it's so related to food. You have to be careful with being dependent on other people, or other people being dependent on you, over nurturing, over giving, things like that, not knowing when to stop when it comes to caring for other people. But you learn that balance as you get older. You definitely learn that balance. So with the 0 degrees here, so the summer solstice starts at 2:14 in the morning Pacific time. So it's starts in the middle of the night. So you might wake up feeling more energized. Sometimes that's the case for people. And happy birthday to all the Cancers out there. All us crabs. Let's see. And then Pluto in the sextile to Neptune still there. and then the trines over here. This is so interesting. Yeah, okay, so that's all the same. Saturn's in trine still. Now this is nice. Saturn trine the sun brings in some strength in order to grow into the new life you're trying to create, or stabilize. With Cancer, a lot of times it's a stabilization. And then with Saturn especially is, stabilizing, manifesting like solid ground, solid foundation. Based on some new found freedom and inner liberation, usually when it's in Aquarius. Yeah. So for some of you, it could be the growth, the inner growth that's always there. We're always in this period of inner growth, and from that solid inner foundation, because truth is, everything is from the inside out. All healing is from the inside out. Of course, the outer world can definitely help us and nurture us, but it's always an inner job. It's always an inside job. Whatever you're trying to grow and nurture and conceive of, because Cancer's all about the mom, so we're talking about conception here. On any level, you could be conceiving anything in your life. And now with this trine to Saturn starting off, because the summer solstice chart can be looked at like a generalization of what we're going to experience until we get to the autumn equinox in October. Or would it be, actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's October. I haven't checked the dates on that yet. Yeah. It's when it gets to 0 degrees Libra. Could be late degree. Yeah, no, actually, it'd be more like September 21st, maybe something like that. Yeah. I don't know. I always feel more into it. The fall to me, yeah, you start feeling it in September, but I really feel it in October. But then again, summer, here I am in Oregon, and I'm still having to put on a sweater here, because it's still really cold at night. So it doesn't feel like summer yet to me. But I'm reading this on Thursday. It could be by next Tuesday. I really will feel like summer. We'll see. So anyway, new things, new growth, nurturing the new growth that you want, and then having some freedom around thinking in new ways to get it, whatever it is that you're the new thing. Or it could just be stabilizing in a whole new way, which is beautiful. Sustainability is one of the most important things, I think, in life. But when you're healing and you're going through challenging times, it's hard to stabilize because you're having to go through the healing process, and that's the thing to focus into when you're healing. You're healing, and it's really important to go through that. So let's see. Then let's focus on the moon over here in Aries. So this is amazing. So notice how the moon is touched yesterday, touched Neptune, and by the next morning, like not even 24 hours later, it's crossed over Neptune, moved past Pisces into Aries, and now it's at 3 degrees Aries. And it's conjunct Jupiter here, right? And now it's squaring the sun. And we've got, two cardinal energies, Aries and Cancer, together. So I feel like the way this could play out, especially with this little sesquisquare here to the south node, I really feel like the way that this could play out, and Neptune is in its square to the sun, so that's still in orb. We have a lot of energy here for healing, a lot of energy for emotional healing, healing the emotional body, the connective tissue in the body, anything and everything to do with honoring your feelings, moving through your real feelings, moving through your maybe even emotional reactions, and then to get to the pure feelings that flow freely, where you can just kind of breathe and be with it and go, whew, that was intense, or that was interesting. And then the sun in Cancer can help you integrate and grow from whatever experience you're bringing through. The key is to never be afraid of your feelings and allow your emotional reactions to just notice that an emotional reaction is coming from the past, and you can transform it. You just have to not be afraid of feeling your feelings. Don't be afraid of feeling anything. We all have the strength to just go through it. Even though, sometimes it can just be the hardest thing in the world. But if we breathe and go with the feelings, we're going to do so much better. And the only way out is through, So there might be some awareness about that, or you might wake up in the morning and have from a dream that helped you, understand and heal. And the healing with Aries energy, again, like I was saying before, it's always going to be about being a little braver, a little more courageous, and asserting yourself, positive self-aggression or positive self-assertion. But there might be some big feelings around it, and especially as the moon moves closer to Jupiter throughout the day. So be open for healing. Be careful with arguments. Be careful with moving too quickly, right? Because we still have Mars here in Aries. And, of course, that'll be all week. Jupiter inching closer and closer to Chiron is also going to be excellent. And you can see we're within that 10-degree orb already right here. See how Jupiter's at 6, Chiron's at 16. That's within orb to be a conjunction. And because it's sextiling Mercury, here, we've got the power of the moon, but also Jupiter is sextiling Mercury. That is information that comes through, messages from within to help heal. That's really beautiful. Yeah. Okay, so let's see, is there anything else? Uranus is, well, this whole thing, there should be 3 lines going here. What's out of orb? No. Well, yeah, actually, because 5-6 degrees is pretty strong. We're about 7 degrees away now with Venus from the south node. But Venus is heading towards Mercury, and that's kind of nice, right? I mean, this is less than 10 degrees here, too. So Venus and Mercury, so there could be lots of talking around what you really want, what you really care about, what matters most, the important things, and maybe doing even some brainstorming, because we have that trine up here to Pluto between the two. See how, well, let's go with the whole thing up to Pluto. So Venus trine Pluto, it's really good for money. It's really good for bringing in new ways to make money. It's really good for art. Taurus is all about art. Yeah. But Taurus doesn't like being rushed, so there's no rush, but maybe it's the power of not rushing. Maybe it's just that, and you find your power of literally being, just being, totally being in your body and not rushing, and being very, very present in the now. And then you find some true power in that just you carry with you the rest of your life, because you can make it a daily practice. Yeah. So okay. So let's go on, because Mars is still. Wasn't that yesterday that in conjunct there with Mars? Yeah. See how we still have Mars in conjunct the south node. So we have it again for Tuesday. So for this whole summer, I think it's a summer of being present. It's a summer of listening to energy that's coming up from the past that you want to heal. It's a summer of honoring our feelings and healing our emotional bodies so that the pure feelings come through and we can ride those waves. I feel like it's a summer of getting much more deeply connected to our spiritual path. And then, of course, with that Saturn square that we're all having, Saturn squaring the nodes involving Uranus and Venus, all these new ways of opening up to things that really matter to us in our own personal lives. Okay, so, excuse me, with Wednesday, the sun's just, of course, moves 1 degree a day. Just about, anyway. The sun's still Cancer there. There's no inconjunct to it. The aspect is still the trine to Saturn, Sun trine Saturn. So it's, again, another day, another good day for manifesting, for bringing in... bringing in the new is what I just heard. Focus in on bringing in the new. Okay. I love that. Yeah, what is the new thing, or what is the new area of your life that you're mastering? And how is that helping you become more free as an individual, honoring your unique spirit, your unique human spirit? That's really beautiful. Let's see. Everything else is the same. You can see where the moon, even though I'm not seeing any hard aspects to it, and we can see the moon here. I'll just use a yellow highlighter for this one. Well, we do have a stellium here. So now that... So this Mars in conjunct the South Node that I've been talking about. Now we have the power of the moon energizing it. I feel like that it's deeply healing, and it's moving. So because Mars moves energy, and in Aries, Mars rules Aries. It's again that initiating, the trailblazing, the moving forward, the passion. Like what Mars is all about, motivation. Like what motivates you. And with the adjustment here to the past, I feel like it's going to be something different than it was in the past. Of course, your past life strengths and this lifetime's, strengths are always with you. All of your strengths from all of your lifetimes are with you. And now I feel like there's some more courage to help you bring in something new. So see what motivates you on all these levels, right? Tap into the gifts of being very present, the gifts of having motivation in your life. Like what a gift that is, that you have something that you want to move towards. That's a real gift. And if you can't figure out or find what that is, open up to be inspired. Ask for inspiration and let life bring it to you. Let life bring that inspiration to you. And it would be something that you would want to feel. It doesn't just come from your head, although, Aries does rule the head. But it's our sense of I am, right? Aries is I am. I'm here, right? And you've got all these past life gifts and all these deep inner strengths. So I feel like it's, even though this is a lot of moving forward energy, I feel like it's so tied to those past life strengths that that's the way to go to help, bring you forward. It certainly rules out the, just blow past it and move forward. No. We always move forward with all the strengths that we have from the past, from all of our past life experience and this lifetime's experience. So, yeah. Okay, so we have this sextile here with Jupiter to Mercury. This can help us to think bigger, this aspect here, right here, see that? Can help us be thinking in much more broader terms about how to move forward, what you really want. It can help you motivate you, get you going, and then be thinking about all the new ways that you could do something new, or a better way to do the old thing, to be more, either productive or maybe have more fun with it. To get out of, this is definitely very, very healing. It's an opportunity to get out of dualistic thinking, like thinking that things are good or bad. Well, life is good and bad, or good and, tricky sometimes. That you have to be right all the time and you can't ever be wrong. Well, we're human. We can be right and wrong. That life is pleasure or pain. No, life is pleasure and pain. It's just life. And we don't have to be winners or losers. We can create win-win situations. And, yeah. Okay. Venus trining Pluto is even stronger. Notice how it's getting more and more an orb. And so this whole, I really do love this whole stellium here in Taurus. Because Taurus is what matters most in our own personal lives, and then the trine with Pluto and Capricorn, from Taurus to Capricorn. Capricorn helps us get it done, get it in our lives, manifest it, and coming from your deeper sense of integrity there. So we do have the Sun squaring Jupiter for the day, and that will be happening for all day and into tomorrow too. And Neptune is still in that square to the Sun as well. But Neptune and Jupiter, even though they're in different signs, they're beautiful energy together. So nurturing, it might be challenging to figure out what you want to nurture. And especially with all this energy, there's just a lot of energy right now, right? Again, go back to what nurtures you and what makes you feel safer and what you can handle. Don't allow yourself to get overwhelmed. This is about when Cancer season and Cancers are all about learning boundaries. So don't allow yourself to get overwhelmed. Say no if you have to. Or say no if you want to. If you don't want to do something somebody wants you to do and it's going to take you out of balance, don't make yourself feel selfish about saying no. Just don't do that. Take care of yourself. Okay, so then Thursday we have Venus, and it's now into Gemini. So there's a lot of love for gathering the facts, and as we do that, so right here, as we gather these facts, we're going to have more personal power. Okay? There's going to be a love for talking, a love for communication, more love for networking. Venus is all about, how we, socialize, how we relate to each other. And of course it's about love, but it's also self-love, because you have to know yourself really well to love yourself. And then from there, your relationships are mirrors, and they will mirror your self-love or not. And if they don't, you'll be teaching them how to love you if they're going to stay in your life, basically, right? Now, Venus primarily is about values. So now there's going to be more value for information, more value for communication, more value for facts, more value for, you're going to value more learning, even though, it's summer and kids are out of school, but maybe it's a time where they want to learn some new things online and you're helping them with that. There's that possibility. The only challenge with Gemini is that you can get distracted and be in avoidance. So, you want to be careful with that. And that can happen with Virgo too as well. But with this trine coming from Pluto, keep your eye focused on the prize. Keep your eye focused on the goal. And just know it's a slow process, one step at a time. And just keep gathering those facts. I see this as a love for learning, and it helps empower you. Now, everything's the same. Jupiter's still squaring the sun. So even though squares can be challenging, it's still a strength when you work through the two. So again, that's that keeping those healthy, strong boundaries and not overdoing. Then you're going to be fine. But that's the lesson here with this Jupiter square the sun. But that's the same as yesterday. Mars in conjunct, this south node still going on. The moon's still in Aries, of course, but it's at 24. But we still have this stellium going on here. But this is a direct, in conjunct there, which I've already talked about. So again, it's just figure out what your strengths are and go for it. But be present as you go. You don't want to just put yourself in a position where you can, and you always learn. I mean, I do that all the time where it's like, oh, I should have slowed down and and said that differently. Like I tend to go to that place where I see the big picture, but then there's all these baby steps to getting there. And so we need to talk about the baby steps first. And that's what Mars and Aries can do. I have Mars natally in Capricorn, but I have an Aries moon. I think it's my Mercury conjunct Uranus that sometimes gets my head and my mouth going too fast sometimes. So, but anyway, with the moon at 24 degrees, you can see we have a square up here to Pluto. So if we have any trouble today, and especially even early in the day, because this would have come into orb sooner. And you can see, I'm sorry, I should have done this, 5:35 p.m. Pacific time, so just according to your time zone, for Venus to move into Gemini. So earlier in the day, it might be, a lot of talking about the things that really do matter. Yeah, but anyway, with the moon square Pluto, that can be intense. And it can be a little combative if you're having to, but you do what you got to do. If you have to stand up for yourself and say, hey, that wasn't cool, or this didn't work out so well, or you found yourself like feeling bad because you went too fast or you did something, the wrong way. Like, don't judge yourself. Just let it go and take it, chalk it up for, as to a lesson as to how to do it better next time. Let's see. Yeah, everything else, Jupiter still squaring the sun for the day. But this major, Venus, it's the aspects to Venus starting off this season, or this Venus in Gemini. Which, it usually takes about 24 days, somewhere in there. Now, when it goes into retrograde, it can stay in the same sign for even a whole month, or 2 months, but it's usually just 1 month in each sign. So we could say that there's, this is like the Venusian chart for the whole month of, from June into July. Yeah, for this next month. So I'll check later and see if it retrogrades. I didn't even look at that, but I will. So let's see. This is just the thing that's really drawn my attention. We don't have any other aspects. I mean, we have a square to Saturn, but it's not tight yet. Well, it's actually moving out of orb, isn't it? From 24, yeah. Yeah, because it's square to... No, it's even Venus is out of orb. This is the square to the node. Here, if I draw it in, you'll see it easier. So Saturn up there in that T-square to the north node, and then over here to the south node. So Venus is out of orb now with that, and Mercury's been gone for days. So now they're free of that tension field. I really feel like there's going to be some breakthroughs with that J6 committee, with all the hearings. Okay, so everything else is the same. So let's go to Thursday, and you can see the moon is in Taurus on Thursday. So this would be a very nice day to kick back or to not rush. Very nice day to... We've got a little challenge here because it's got a square to Pluto. But it's not bad, really. And it's going to move, as the day moves on, and move out of orb. So when you first wake up, I feel like it has to do with getting in touch with what you really want to accomplish for the day. And then even if you're having to juggle some plates around, to figure out what's the best thing to do, just keep focusing on what you want, and that'll get you there. The Taurus energy is about being faithful to yourself and not letting yourself be pushed and rushed, but also not getting stuck. So don't let yourself get stuck in somebody else's power dynamics and trying to have control over you. Find your own power and, do whatever you can, of course, that way. Let's see, the other aspects are the same. Mars is still in that, you can see how this all week long, Mars in this inconjunct to the south node. So again, finding your power and connecting it to the past, pat yourself on the back. Acknowledge yourself for all the gifts that you've earned this lifetime, all the skills that you have. The sun is still squaring to Jupiter. Yeah, you can see the T-square is still there. Pluto is still in trine to Venus and Mercury. And we don't have any hard aspects to the moon. In fact, we have a sextile here to the sun. See how the moon here at 0 degrees Taurus is sextiling the sun at 2 degrees Cancer. And so those make for good ways of manifesting, coming from what you're wanting to grow. Again, I just keep hearing and feeling this, focus on what you want. Just keep focusing on what you want. And conceive that. You have to conceive something in your mind and in your heart and in your soul. Your body is the same thing. It has to be all together, all one, and have it inside of you before you can actually give birth to it. So I think that the moon in Taurus sextiling the sun in Cancer is really, really beautiful for helping you decide on what it is that you want to birth, what you want to grow, what you want to develop. That's really nice. Okay, then let's look at Friday. The moon's still in Taurus, but now it's up against Uranus. So there could be some new breakthroughs to help move you on your path right here. And there's this little, I said I wasn't going to talk about the semi-squares, but there's a little one to the sun. This is going to require some action, right? The moon bumping up against Uranus. In fact, make sure on Thursday night, get the sleep you can, get all you can, because you might wake up even earlier than this 6 a.m. if you're Pacific time, and just be wide awake, because the moon conjuncting with Uranus can do that. Uranus is electrifying, right? And because it's opposing the south node in Scorpio, this right here, all of this can energize Scorpios especially somebody with a later degree Scorpio, like if you have 21 degree and beyond. Even if you have from 11 degrees Scorpio through to all the way to 29 degrees, this can be energizing for anybody with those personal planets like sun, moon. If you have the sun, moon, or Mercury especially in Scorpio at, like, let's say from about 9 or even 9 degrees Scorpio and then through 29 degrees Scorpio. Yeah. Or even the later degrees Libra could touch in there. Because the moon kind of like, it illuminates. And it's with this opposition to this late degree Scorpio South Node, we've got this connection there. So you might get guidance in dream time. Keep a dream journal. Keep something next to you so you can, even if you don't wake up, even if you don't turn a light on. I mean, I do that all the time where I don't turn a light on and I don't dot the I's or cross the T's, but I just like scribble something that I can read in the morning. They do make those pens with little lights in them, but I had one. My battery's gone. I haven't found a new one, but dream time guidance is phenomenal, and that's especially true with this transit we're all going through with Neptune sextiling the South Node in Scorpio. This is all about dream time guidance. In fact, remember I was talking about that lever law here. So we've got the South Node. And this is all involved now, but from here to here to here, right? Neptune, source energy coming in through dream time to help us heal the past if need be, or bring through any type of guidance that you want. Just go to sleep at night asking for what you want to know about, and then be willing to wake up and write it down in the middle of the night. Or trust that little snippet that comes through before you first wake up. A lot of times there's that. And let's see, and everything else is the same. What else is going on with the moon? It's just involved here in this opposition to the South Node. I just talked about that. It's coming into orb. It's moving closer towards this squaring Saturn. So let's move forward into Friday and talk about that, or Saturday, I'm sorry, and talk about that. All right, see how the moon's there. It's crossed over here. Okay, so now it's like legally all together here. Even though there's only 3 lines, I'm combining those to Pluto. Okay, so everything I spoke to about yesterday still applies, but it's heating up past the point that now we're involving Venus in the mix. So now, by this point, we really know what we want that will help empower ourselves moving forward to manifest what it is that we want. This is a really good week for manifesting. It really is. And let's see, the moon is in opposition to the South Node. So everything I said about yesterday, dream time, meditation, meditate 20 minutes a day, twice a day if you can. If you don't do it 20 minutes once a day to meditate on what you want, you probably don't really want it. Or you just think that this is going to fall on your head, and that's not how spiritual law works. You have to take self-responsibility and, get in touch with what it is that you really do want. Sometimes that means working through the fear of having it, like maybe you think you can't handle it. Because it's in, so we have an exact square here. So notice how Saturn's at 24 degrees, 54 minutes. And the moon is at 24 degrees, 53 minutes. That's an exact square into that T-square, right? With Saturn at the apex. Again, Saturn's about manifesting. Saturn's about mastery. It's asking us to, when it comes to government, to demand to pass these new laws from, Congress and Biden to get these things, because this is a tension field that we're all in. I think by Saturday, we're really feeling it. We really know what matters to us, and we're willing to, to work for it. So making those phone calls, sending the postcards, donating if you can to the representatives that will support your cause, whatever that is. Of course, with this polarity here, we're talking women's reproductive rights, and we're talking safe, because Taurus is all about safety, safe gun laws. So that the things from the past don't keep happening again. And until we get those laws changed, they will. It's going to keep happening. With Venus moving closer to Mercury every day, of course, Mercury's going to keep going, but there could be some support with mental health coming through here, because Venus wants to unify. Venus is it's mostly what we value, and it's how we relate to each other, but it's also about what's with self-worth issues, things like that, and that's a part of mental health. Right? I mean, people that have mental health issues they're really down on themselves, and then there's that play out to things that are sometimes violent because they feel so bad about themselves, and then they project it outwards. And these anti-bullying laws, those need to be in effect. But again, all the other aspects are the same, and the challenging aspect this morning is that the moon is involved in that T-square to Saturn. So if you want to bring it into just your personal life and leave all politics out of it, it would be this T-square here would be that you're finding new ways to master your past life gifts and this lifetime's work, skills, perseverance. Scorpio is all about trusting yourself. It can be intense. It can be, being afraid to go really deep, or maybe there's a fear of betrayal, but you're mastering that. And best thing I could say with the fear of betrayal is just don't betray yourself, and you'll be just fine. And then moving forward into the North Node with Taurus, it's again like moving towards what you really value and feeling free and safe enough to honor your unique purpose in life. Honor your unique self, that we're all different, and that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And then of course honoring what makes you feel safe and working towards that. So that's it, you guys, for this week. Thanks so much for hanging in there with me, and we'll talk about it on the other side. Okay, bye.